Pawn e2 to e4. Pawn e7 to e6. Pawn d2 to d4. Pawn d7 to d5. Knight b1 to d2. Knight b8 to c6. Knight g1 to f3. Knight g8 to f6. Pawn e4 to e5. Knight f6 to d7. Pawn c2 to c4. Pawn f7 to f6. Pawn c4 takes d5. Pawn e6 takes d5. Pawn e5 to e6. Knight d7 to b6. Queen d1 to e2. Queen d8 to d6. Queen e2 to d1. Bishop f8 to e7. Bishop f1 to d3. Knight c6 to b4. Bishop d3 to b5, check. Pawn c7 to c6. Bishop b5 to e2. Queen d6 to f4. Pawn a2 to a3. Knight b4 to a6. Knight d2 to c4. Queen f4 to e4. Knight c4 takes b6. Pawn a7 takes b6. Queen d1 to b3. Knight a6 to b4. Bishop c1 to d2. Knight b4 to c2, check. King e1 to f1. Knight c2 takes a1. Queen b3 to a2. Knight a1 to c2. Bishop d2 to b4. Knight c2 takes b4. Queen a2 to b3. Queen e4 to b1, check. Knight f3 to e1. Queen b1 to a2. Bishop e2 to h5, check. Pawn g7 to g6. Bishop h5 takes g6, check. Pawn h7 takes g6. Queen b3 to g3. Queen a2 to c4, check. King f1 to g1. Queen c4 to c1. Queen g3 takes g6, check. King e8 to d8. Queen g6 to g7. Queen c1 takes e1, checkmate.